A very warm good morning to one and all present here. We welcome you to the GiAN sponsored 10-day workshop on functional material manufacturing for energy and biomedical application. This course provides a comprehensive introduction to the interdisciplinary field of functional material and additive manufacturing. It begins with the fundamentals of functional material, including ferroelectric materials and nanostructured materials, followed by their synthesis and fabrication techniques. Participants will gain a solid foundation in additive manufacturing, exploring key processes and exploring key processes and material considerations. Emphasis is placed on AM applications in medical implants and devices, as well as magnetic materials processed under external fields. The course also discusses the intersection of material science and AM, highlighting the unique challenges and opportunities in this domain. Finally, current research directions, application areas, and technological gaps will be explored, preparing students for advanced study or research in functional materials and AM. This event is organized by the Department of Mechanical Material and Aerospace Engineering, IIT Dharwad, from Lab AM4DP, Additive Manufacturing and 4D Printing Lab. As such, we have our now. I would like to call upon stage our guests to honor them. So I'd request our director, Professor Venkappa R. Desai, to come to the stage. Sir, please. I request Professor Ravi Hadimani, sir, to come to the stage. I request Director Sir to honor our chief guest, Professor Ravi Hadimani Sir. Please give a huge round of applause for our guest. I now request Professor Hadimani to honor our chairperson, Professor R. Desai Sir. Please give a huge round of applause for the exchange. I now request the co-chair of our session, Professor Koteshwar Rao K, Dean R&D, IIT Dharwad, to grace the stage. And I request our head of the department, Professor Kirti MC, to do the honors of honoring our co-chair. Okay. The session is co-chaired by Professor Naveen MB, Dean AP IIT Dharwad, our convener, head of the Department of MMAE, Professor Kirti MC IIT Dharwad, our local coordinator, Professor KV Jayakumar, visiting professor at IIT Dharwad, and program coordinator, Professor Somshekhara MA, associate professor, associate dean R&D IIT Dharwad. I request our guests to take their seats on the stage. We will now begin this auspicious occasion with lamp lighting. I request our guests to take the initiative to light the lamp. Thank you, sir, for doing the honors. I now request Professor Somshekara MA to say a few words on this occasion. Sir, please.
Good morning, all. So it's my privilege to welcome our director, Professor Venkappa R. Desai, for this vacation. It's also my privilege to welcome today's chief guest, Professor Ravi Adimani from Virginia Commonwealth University. So it's my privilege to welcome Professor Koteshwar Rao, who is the Dean R&D, Professor Kirti MC, head of the department MMAE, Professor Naveen MB from Dean AP, IIT Dharwad. Again, Professor KV Jaikumar, GiAN local coordinator. So he actually helped us with all the proposal and getting funds on time. Um, so I welcome all of you, all the participants for this wonderful occasion. So as I think name says, this course is all about. So we actually get into fundamentals of manufacturing, fundamentals of material science, and then we start moving in direction of energy and then medical related topics, and also we will cover additive manufacturing and then relevant areas coming another 10 days. So I hope you will have wonderful time during these 10 days. Thank you. So I think about the program. So as I said, some of the topics that I would like to highlight, including introduction to fundamentals of materials and then functional materials, ferroelectric and magnetic materials, and the nanostructured functional materials, and then fabrication, and additive manufacturing and medical implants, and then so many other topics will be covered more than 52 hours. So you will be actually engaged for a next 10 days, which includes more than 35 hours lecture hours, and more than 20 hours where you will have an opportunity to get into our facilities, which is advanced manufacturing, and then we also have a central facility where you will have a lot of hands-on experience. I think more importantly about this workshop is where we actually also provide you some problems, research problems related to this area, and then where you will actually form a group of 3 or 4 participants across the different organizations. So where we will also actually float some of the topics which are kind of doable in 10 days. Of course, some of the topics may actually spill over after the workshop also. So we actually encourage participants even after 10 days, so where you will have an opportunity to come back and then actually continue the problem that you have actually started. So we are actually giving you not just an opportunity to only attend this workshop, but also an opportunity to for you to engage with IIT Dharwad in terms of research and then collaborations. So as I said, we are hoping so far we have, I think, the number of registration, we have 48 registrations. So we will be actually floating more than 15 problems, wherein each team will be having 3 to 4 and then we will be actually going entire every day you have a demo also, where we actually ask what is the update about the problem that you are working on it, and then if you're actually facing any issues, and then we would like to sort it out. More importantly, so you will actually have an opportunity to go to that metal 3D printers, and then SCM, and then so many other facilities that you have already at IIT Dharwad, where you may actually have an opportunity to use them in during these 10 days. And also after the 10 days, that as I said, you may come back as an intern, or you may come back as a long term project, or you can actually work on like weekend, and then sometime our scholars will actually help you out in solving this problem. We want to see more of not just a 10 days course, but more of a collaborative work, more of, as I said, the topics are covered various, like example, I see that a lot of them are also coming from medical backgrounds, and then dental backgrounds, and then material science, and then manufacturing, and the materials, and so on, right? So we want to use this expertise across the participant, and then we want to utilize. I would like to request you to utilize this opportunity to, and then go for a better collaboration with IIT Dharwad. With this, I actually conclude my welcome remark. Yeah. Now I request Professor Venkapayar Desai to give a few words about the conference.
Suprabhat, Swagatam, that is good morning and welcome to this GiAN course, that is Global Initiative of Academic Networks. This functional materials manufacturing for energy and biomedical applications. Okay, if you the best example I can think of for energy application is our sun, whether you call it Surya or sun, as a star as per the Western philosophy, or as per Navagraha as per the Indian philosophy. It's up to you. Let us not get into the controversy. But one thing is there, the word in the periodic table, the second element is also the first inert gas, that is helium. And the word helium comes from sun actually, because आप सब देखे होंगे, that is a geocentric theory and then heliocentric theory. Europe long back, maybe around 400 to 500 years back, ये जो है ना, the church, people in the church, they were thinking that Europe is the world, the only world, and if you just cross that Europe, then you will reach almost like this one, and then you will fall in this one, this kind of thing. That was known as the geocentric theory. Whereas in our this one, if you see the very word bhugola, bhu means that is bhumi or geo or whatever it is. One gola itself is, that is the S1, and so eventually that is Galileo was punished for that, and then so now they eventually science evolved, and so here actually the best example is, whereas elsewhere you may see the nuclear fission, that is uranium gets one due to fission, it gets converted to barium and krypton, whereas in helium 4 hydrogen atoms they join together, उसको nuclear fusion बोलते हैं, and then they create one helium atom, that is 2 protons, 2 neutrons, and obviously 2 electrons, with the maximum number in the first orbit, and then huge amount of energy is released, much more than what is released in nuclear fission. So that is why helium. So Surya or sun is the best example of a sun, and हम ये भी जानते हैं that is sun is the best source of the vitamin D, and so this actually Yeah, the maybe even being from here, so many of us may be drinking milk from either Jersey cow or a buffalo, whereas there are two countries in South America. One is Peru, the other one is Bolivia. They have replaced their entire bovine population with Indian indigenous cow population. Why? Because the Indian indigenous cow, nobody need to be wrongly interpreted as any religious discourse or anything. Let us be fully scientific as one. It has two additional body parts. One is a hump here, and the other one is slightly wider. This flexible skin, जिसको गंगा चर्म बोलते हैं. Because of these two additional body parts, more solar energy adds the body, and because of more solar energy, more vitamin D. It adds value to the milk during its reproductive period, and then to the that is uh, the urine and cow dung during its entire life period. Unfortunately, see this one. Few months back, our IIT Madras director, Professor Kamakoti, mentioned about this, and then he was unnecessarily trolled. That is the level of our S1. See, there is no point in unnecessarily S1 because there is so much of science and so much of logic behind it. And because of this simple reason, more solar energy, more vitamin D, more quality or value addition. That's the S1. And this has been realized, it is much more than what S1 by two South American countries. They may not be there anywhere either in the G20 or even G7 or whatever. One is Peru, the other one is neighboring Bolivia. And they have replaced their entire bovine population with the Indian indigenous cow population by realizing the science behind this. So therefore, sun is so important. So this is the S1. So that I'm sure Professor Somshekara as well as Professor Ravi Hadimani as well as other S1, the resource persons, both internal, I do not know whether there are any more external experts are also there. So anyway, I was a few months back, I got an opportunity to visit Professor Somshekara's lab and then just uh, take a look at the products which they have come up, the metal as well as other one. So I'm sure that you all will have आपको value addition होगा in this 2 weeks or 10 days of program. That means 5 working weeks during this week. Of course, there is also a holiday that is a Christmas 25th Thursday is a holiday. I do not know whether they have any program on that day or as well. So that is so you have all the way up to 31st as well. And I sincerely hope that both of you, that is each one of you, will get value addition, and then eventually, as Professor Somshekara rightly said, so it should result in a long-term SWAN, that is assess the association collaboration. And these days, even जो है ना, the whole world actually is reeling under recession or a lot of job cut वगैरह हो रहा है, and then so these days actually the most preferred method of offering job is through KISFAN, initially through internship. So वहाँ actually an individual on one hand, on one side, and the institution on the other side. So individual will assess the compatibility of him or her with the SWAN, with the institution, and vice versa. So that way, that is a better, and then it is a long-term, rather, if not long-term, if not all-term, long-term model. So that kind of thing also you can develop actually. Those of you, some of you may be students, some of you may be already researchers or postdocs, whatever it is. So इसलिए I'm sure that you all will get significantly benefited and then add value to your S1. ठीक है. With this S1, तो मेरा वाणी को विराम देता हूँ and wish you all the best, and again welcome. And in addition to this, you also please visit other facilities in IIT Dharwad, and then so that is just not for your sake, but many of your colleagues, maybe your student friends or even other professional friends in your organization or elsewhere. So you can bring them to the knowledge what are the facilities which IIT Harvard is having. So that will also result in a long-term association. धन्यवाद. ठीक है.
Thank you, sir, for addressing the session. I now request our Professor Ravi Hadimani, sir, to speak a few words on the occasion. So, please.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank Director Professor Venkapaya Desai, sir, for inviting me, and the distinguished deans, and Professor Jaykumar, and the main architect of GiAN program, Professor Somshekara, who has worked day and night to make this happen. It involves a lot of background work. So I remember him contacting me in daytime in US, which is middle of the night here, for various things. And whenever I sent him questions regarding GiAN program, he would answer even if it is midnight here. So he has worked really hard to make this happen. So I'd like to thank him, and the chair of the department, Professor Kirti, and other eminent faculty members here, researchers, and students. So in this GiAN program, I'm going to focus mainly on the functional materials, and that's from my expertise. And then Professor Somshekara's expertise is in additive manufacturing. So you will see that these unique fields, when they come together, there is a synergy, meaning you can really come up with new structures or materials that have unique properties, which can solve many of the problems in the world. So if you think of any problem, just say, for example, your cell phone, right? You have to charge it regularly in order to make it work, in order to access your emails or communicate with your loved ones. Imagine if you don't have to charge your battery, charge your phone at all, right? So that's one of the challenge that can be resolved with functional materials with the help of additive manufacturing. So again, Professor Venkapaya sir mentioned about nuclear fusion. Think out of the box, and not just lithium batteries. What about nuclear batteries? Can you make nuclear batteries? I mean, there are engineering challenges, but if you can make nuclear batteries, you don't have to recharge your phone at all. So that is the promise that functional materials along with additive manufacturing has. So that's just one example. There are several examples. So there are grand challenges for the entire humanity. For example, good drinking water, energy supply, healthcare, and you name any problem, you can think of some functional materials. If not, they solve the problem, but at least they will elevate or reduce the level of problem. So that's what I'm going to focus on, and I hope I will inspire some of you to study in depth about these functional materials. And I'm very passionate about it. When I was like you, either if you're doing master's or PhD or postdoc, I really believed that there is a lot of scope for material science to come up with new functional materials, and with new additive manufacturing techniques, you can make them happen, or you can come up with a process that will be useful, or that will be applied into the devices. So with that, I would like to conclude my remarks. I hope you will enjoy these 10 days of I looked at the program. There's a lot packed in there. So you have lectures. I'm giving 3 hours of lecture a day, and there are demos. And I forgot to mention, I was in IIT Kharagpur just before I came here. I gave an invited talk at a conference called Recent Advances in Medical Sciences and Technology. And I happened to speak to a few faculty members. And when I asked about their facilities, and I've seen the facilities here, I can say that some of the facilities here are far superior than what they have, especially related to additive manufacturing. And IIT Kharagpur is well known for metallurgy and material science. So I spoke to faculty members in this department. So I was really pleased to see all these facilities that Professor Somshekara has enabled for his students, as well as he has extended his service to, or his expertise to outside IIT students. I think this is unique opportunity. I wish I had such an opportunity when I was a student in Karnataka itself. So this is unique. Please make use of it. And I hope I will be able to convince some of you that these chances are very rare. And with that, I would like to conclude my remark. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for setting the direction for this course. I now request I now request our local coordinator, Professor Jay Kumar, to address the session.
Good morning, Professor Desai, Professor Ravi, Professor Naveen, Professor Koteshwar Rao, Kirti, and Professor Beshara, Somshekara, and all the dear participants. Welcome to IIT Dharwad, perhaps the most beautiful, scenic, environment-friendly campus in the country. This GiAN program was actually started in the year 2015. The idea was to bring internationally reputed academicians, researchers, industrialists, entrepreneurs to India, and then train our young experts, our young students and research and faculty. And so far, we have at the GiAN program, about 3,000 courses have been done. This is the fourth phase. And in the fourth phase, about 800, about 350 courses have been approved. And this is probably 313th course, which are holding under the phase 4. The idea is, to bring the high, latest cutting edge technology, introduce them to India from internationally reputed people. So the process of selecting a course is very tough, series of, monitoring, reviewing, and then ultimately when we get it, it means the title of the course is good, the internet expert we identify is really good for the course, and the coordinator has done a fantastic job. So these are all the factors that go. And most of these courses are organized by IITs, NITs, ICERs, central universities, state universities, and other colleges, which are the top 100 NIRF ranks. And those who come here, it's a course, could be the 1 week or 2 weeks. The 1 week course, you take an exam, you get a 1 credit allotted to you, which can be used for your, those who are doing research can be used for 1 credit or 2 credits, depending on whether 1 week course or 2 weeks course. So when you're here, please make full use of the facility here, make use of the time, make use of the expert. This morning, during breakfast, I asked Dr. Ravi, are you going to stay on the campus? He said, yes, I'm on the campus. The idea is the GiAN expert normally stay on the campus to be available to the participants beyond office hours, so that the 2 weeks that you're here, is really helpful to you. So it also helps you to do further research and to be in touch with the internationally latest technology, latest research groups. So let me wish you all the best. And once you finish 2 years course, those who come from outside, you got a certificate from IIT Dharwad, right? So you become a sort of alumnus of IIT Dharwad. So when you go back to your campus, speak good things about IIT Dharwad. That's a nice thing that you please talk good things. You'll find you really will enjoy this course. No pollution, lovely place, and make full use of the place here. Go to visit the facility, visit the library, and make good friendship among those who come here. All of you have come for the course. Make a good teamwork. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful address. I now request Dean AP, Professor Naveen MB, to address the session.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see such good participation in a GiAN course. I just will finish my words very quickly. I think whatever I had to say has already been said by many of the professors here. Uh, One thing I would want you to definitely explore here is both the academic culture and the research culture at IIT Dharwad. You will find that in any IIT, the academic as well as research culture is pretty much open. That is, nobody will stop you from asking questions, and it does not matter whether somebody is dean, somebody is a professor, somebody is a assistant professor. It doesn't matter. If you have a question, you can directly approach them and ask them. Even if you meet us on the road, you can stop us and ask us questions. Such is the culture at any IIT for that matter. Okay, the same is true with IIT Dharwad. Already Professor Jaikumar gave you the example that the expert will be staying on campus and will be available most of the time. The same is true with many of the people here. So you might interact with few of us during your course, but there will be a lot more people here. Feel free to look at our website. Feel free to find out which professor works in which domain. And whenever you have time on campus here, go and meet them if they are available. This is the best chance for you to meet up with many professors, many faculty in the institute. One more thing I want to say is I have been part of delivering grand GiAN courses at multiple places, and what I have seen is that the group becomes pretty strong over 3-4 days. So because they start learning together, and unlike classroom learning, something does not happen here in one way. As in, after somebody tells you something, you discuss it with someone sitting beside you over breaks or over lunch, and you will start interacting naturally. So even if you don't want to talk to others, because of the content, it will make you talk to others. Because it's not like classroom where somebody will teach you something, you are given one exam, you pass that, and you get one certificate. It's much more than that. So naturally interactions will happen. Please keep these interactions going and continue these interactions after you finish this GiAN course also. Even now, for example, from the GiAN course that I have handled, where there were participants, I get emails from those participants regarding, sir, there is another workshop going on, will you be willing to come and give a talk there? Or we formed this group, and together now we three are applying for PhD at some institute. So new friends have been formed, new interest areas have been created, and successful careers have been established. Of course, I won't say one GiAN course will define your career or anything like that, but it's a good platform for you to explore whatever you want. And please continue having this enthusiasm. Typically what happens is first 2 days you are extremely enthusiastic, and after that the rigorous sessions here will make you feel like, okay, I'm getting too much information within a very short duration of time. But this is the best thing that can happen to anyone, okay? Because most of us, once we are independent, we are looking to make time to study and learn new things, etc. Now if you get a platform where somebody is going to tell you all the new things over 3-4 days, or even a matter of 10 days, along with lab visits, along with using equipment and interacting with students here, this is probably one of the best opportunities you can ever have. So all I would tell is make full use of this course, make full use of people at IIT Dharwad, and of course our office is in charge of giving you the certificate. You'll get it when it's done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now request our co-chair, Dean R&D, Professor Koteshwar Rao. to address the session. Sir, please.
Okay, welcome all. And uh, basically, most of them are already said what is the use or benefits that you can get out of the GAN course. But as also said that the GAN course mainly for knowledge transfer or workforce development in India, with bringing the experts from outside. I personally, I tell you my case also. In 2019, I attended one GAN course in IIT Hyderabad, where we started in India like open source tools for telecom. That is the first workshop that we attended. Later, then we don't have how to run the open source tools anything. This is the person who they are developing the open source tools by themselves, and it was called under the part of the GAN course. And now we are in a stage where we will build our own open source tools and give to the others to use them, because now India has its own open source consortium where we are developing the tools on the open source, where the local colleges or others can use it for their without any spending, right? Because open source is that is the one. Like now that 2019 knowledge transfer help to graduate at least 5 to 10 PhD students who are working on the open source, because you develop your own problem statements in that open source. That is the best part of the GAN, because you can take the best knowledge transfer that will help us also for the our research problems to evaluate, as well as the workforce development for under this uh, advanced technologies. That is where I say, like, you on the in the campus, you can not only for this one try to visit the other labs facilities and engage and make out of the benefit, because once you are here means you should obtain some knowledge that will be useful. But the 10 days, the time is a good time. Basically, it's not 2 days you just visit and go away. 10 days is a really really good time. I mean, try to utilize part of the GAN course as well as off the GAN course. Visit other labs and find if which areas you can be comfortable, and mm, discussing with their students or PhDs, whoever. Okay, thank you all. That's it for me.
I now request our convener, Head of the Department of MMA, Professor Kirti MC, to address the occasion.
Good morning, dignitaries on the stage and the audience members. So on behalf of the Department of Mechanical Materials and Aerospace Engineering, I welcome you all to the GAN program. I think this is probably the second similar kind of workshop event that we are having from the department. A recent one on, I think, GPU tools in CFD that was connected by Professor Dheeraj. So it's good to see many people visiting IIT Dharwad from outside to participate in such events. And as Professor Somshekhar mentioned, I think you can look for a long-term collaboration with IIT Dharwad once the program is done, and once you're as you progress in your academic journey. I don't work in this area, but I work in let's say aerodynamics of aerospace engine components, and I can tell you one not so popularly known link between aircraft engines and materials. Of course, materials is a very big topic. I think most of you are working in this area, you are aware of it. But one interesting thing is, if you remember the thermal efficiency of a gas turbine cycle, so there is a the very simple expression: there is a temperature sitting there. So the highest temperature, the higher the temperature, the higher will be the efficiency. So that basically means that if you have a material that can withstand, maybe a few tens of degrees higher than what is presently possible, that will straight away improve the efficiency of the cycle, and therefore the efficiency of the engine, where you can essentially efficiently utilize the energy that is being produced. And all the efforts that is typically done to improve the efficiency using aerodynamic or other techniques, they only push the efficiency by maybe a few points of, I mean, a few fraction of a percentage. So that is how important, dealing with materials. Of course, functional materials will deal with other things also. But in case of gas turbines, we talk about high temperature, high stresses, and high corrosion environments that the materials have to withstand. So this is a very, um, to speak generally, I think materials has been the limiting point for many technological breakthroughs. I mean, we are in many fields in mechanical engineering, especially. I think we are working at the limit of what is possible, and that limit is mostly because of uh, the limitation of the materials. So if you have better materials, I'm sure we can, surpass that limit and utilize all the systems in a more efficient manner. Uh, and yeah, I just again want to emphasize what others said, that you can make use of your time here fruitfully. Again, please interact with the experts so that uh, you get a good use of, you get a good knowledge of what you're here for. I attended one such course during when I was a student, and I actually derived a lot of benefit from the expert who was there, because they, I mean, like the experts we have here, they are very well versed in their field. Okay, so any doubt that you may have, even though it may sound silly or basic to you, I'm sure it will be taken. I mean, you'll get a very much insightful answer if you pose it to them. Uh, yeah, I think with this, I'd like to. I think I'm the last person between you and the start of this event, so I'll say thank you again and welcome you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for joining us for the inauguration of GiAN sponsored 10-day workshop, Functional Material Manufacturing for Energy and Biomedical Application. Okay. Yes, sir. Can you take a group photo for us? Okay. Yes. Please be seated for the group photo. The 10-day schedule is divided in 25 lectures, 12 demonstrations, 2 special talks, and other engaging activities. The course presents you with an opportunity to engage with professors, scholars, and fellow participants. You'll have the chance to get hands-on experience during your demo slots as well. We request you to bring your energy, curiosity, and the desire to learn for the coming 10 days. Thank you for joining us. We will now break for tea after the photo. Please join us in the foyer. I request all the volunteers to guide all participants to the dedicated venue. And registration will continue hereafter. So anybody who has yet to get them registered at the registration desk, kindly find us there. Thank you.